My name is Emily.
And I'm Summer.
And this is the Best Friend Chronicles.
The podcast where friendship meets entertainment.
From sharing memories to making new ones, we'll let you in on what it's like to be best friends forever. Alright, so welcome back. We're going to be doing a TV show podcast. Lately, we've been talking about TV shows. And kind of thought it'd be fun to discuss it with everybody, and maybe we'll have a new show that we'll recommend that you guys would like.
Yeah, I hope so. So we're just going to talk about right now favorite current shows, not like all-time favorites, because right now I don't really watch current TV, but you do. So,
yes.
Our favorite current shows. You can
I have two that I'm ready to talk about. I'll talk about one of them first is Chicago PD.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really cool show because we live very close to Chicago with less than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's so cool. They do some hot button topics. You kind of get a feel for what police is like in Chicago. There are some episodes which are a little intense, and it's like, wow, police, really? But it's like it shows like the real side of it. And
really, they don't show. They show the corruption and stuff.
It's not so much corruption. Like there's like, because the force that you follow on there, one of them, they're like, if they arrest someone, they're like, you can't do that to me, and they go, I could do whatever I want, and they like punch them. So like,
okay.
they don't always show the brighter side of like, police never do this stuff. Okay. I feel like that's how it really is in Chicago.
Yeah, we know it is.
Yeah.
So
I like that they don't sugarcoat being in the police force. They kind of show like, for being TV, kind of how they're the same creator. For those of you who don't know, do Law and Order SVU. Dick Wolf, he's the creator of it. So I think, and I love it that it's out of Chicago. I remember there was an episode, and they were showing the Riviera ball, like the theater, and like I saw that in person once, so it's kind of cool. But I like it. And then my other favorite one I'm currently watching, they just got picked up for another season, and they aired from the day we recorded this a couple weeks ago. Animal Kingdom. I've loved that show since the beginning, and I'm really excited they got picked up for another season, and I'm eager to see where they take it. I really am. That's my current favorite TV show.
A lot of crime shows. I can't really get into those too much.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom is about this family that does heists, and there's a lot of like robbery, drugs, and rebellion and stuff, and I just think it's really cool. And the character in there is really hot, so I kind of watched it for that too.
Oh yeah, that's why you watch lots of things.
Yeah, I think cinema, TV, movies,
attractive people get
that, but
an audience.
It's a like some people go to books and it's their escape. Mine is TV and movie. I can watch a show and then later that night I can like envision myself in that world type of things. That's why I really like it. But so Animal Kingdom, definitely one of my top favorite shows.
Okay. So for me, they're current, but they've been on for years, and that is just Project Runway. I've always loved it. I've been watching it. I've watched every season now several times, and they're back on Bravo is what they're saying now, and they've got like new judges and stuff. I don't know, because
who are the new judges?
Heidi's not there.
Oh, she's not. Because you got me.
It's Carly Kloss or whatever, another blonde model. She's also like a coder, I guess. I don't know. There's no Heidi.
Like
there's
coder,
no Tim.
like app coder.
Yeah. There's no Tim Gunn.
What?
It's Christian Soriano now. He's like the mentor, which is cool because he's from Project Runway. The challenges they did were really cool this season because they did like a Rocket Man. They had to do one out for Elton John.
That's cool.
Yeah, the challenges are still cool, so I gave it a try. And then MasterChef's been on for 10 years now. That's their gimmick. It's the 10th year. It's gonna be bigger than ever. I love cooking shows. I don't cook. I would cook if I didn't have to wash dishes. And then Superstore, which you don't really watch like sitcoms, but it's funny because it's like at like kind of like a Walmart type store, so you just see like the stupid people in retail, and you're like, oh my god, I've experienced this. Or like then you see kind of like how big corporations really care about their employees, and you're like, yeah, that's pretty accurate, but in a funny way.
You watch a lot of comedy.
I do. That's what I prefer, I guess.
My favorite TV show of all time.
Okay, yeah, get these.
Animal Kingdom, obviously, has been one of them. And Teen Wolf, big Teen Wolf fan. And that's kind of like, if I had to pick like my limited list of like favorite TV shows.
I didn't know we were limiting it.
Well, I'm not going to go in depth. And there's a few later on, which I don't want to give them away just yet, because I have a list of questions we're going to answer.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know that, like, there's one on here for sure that was my favorite TV show, but I don't want to give it away, so.
Okay.
But.
Yeah. My all-time favorites, Bones. I love Bones. Yeah. That's a classic. That's crime, but not really. It's more like solving the crime as well. And then the relationship between Bones and Booth, and it's like all the good stuff. Parks and Rec. Young Chris Pratt, when he was chubby, I think he was cuter than he is now. That's how I feel. But that's a good show too. That's kind of like Superstore, just another little sitcom. I love Malcolm in the Middle. I'll always love Malcolm in the Middle.
Really?
I always watched him as a kid, and then I was mad with Netflix to get off, so I got Hulu kind of because Malcolm in the Middle was still on Hulu.
Do you still like currently watch it?
I do. If I'm like, I just want some noise, I'll put Malcolm in the Middle on. I've watched every episode, who knows how many times, but that's a good classic. You growing up TV show, and you're like, oh my god, my mom would do something crazy like this, and my dad would do, and you're like, I guess I only listed 3. I would say Gotham, because I mentioned Gotham a lot, but that's a really good show.
Yeah, you mentioned Gotham quite a few times.
It's a pretty darn good show. What else we got? Okay, overrated shows. What's a show everyone just loves it and you just like can't understand?
Friends. I can't.
I wrote Friends too, and the thing is, I've watched Friends. I've watched a lot of Friends. It's good. It's not like worth however much money Netflix paid to keep it on. Like it's okay, but it's really dated, and it's like I don't know.
I've never seen it. I don't care to see it. I think it's overrated. I'm sick of people saying Friends this, Friends that, and I'm sick of...
It's coming back all of a sudden. Everyone's like all into it.
Of people going with the theme song, and they're like, try not to clap challenge. Like, and they go... I'm like, okay,
it is
you can clearly... But like, they act like, oh my god, I physically cannot clap during this. Like, really? Okay, I can't.
I know the other one you said, because I probably also said it too. The Office.
I didn't put that one down.
I've seen episodes. It's another one. It's like, it's funny, but it's like, I don't know. But everyone says it gets better as it goes on. And it's like, well, what's the point of starting something if it's not even good at the beginning, that it gets better later? Like, Parks and Rec, it's like, it's basically, it's the same, like, storyline of basically just, these are people work in this office, and they do silly things. And it's like, Parks and Rec is a lot funnier to me from what I've seen of The Office.
Yeah. I would say, like, probably, I forgot about The Office, too. Because, like, I don't watch... That's one thing when it comes to TV. I don't watch a lot of comedy. Because if a TV show doesn't make me laugh, I'm not going to bother watching it. Like, there was... What were we watching? There was a TV show we started watching. Oh, Modern Family.
Yes! Oh my god, I forgot about Modern Family. All-time favorite.
It's
so funny.
We watched it like an episode of Modern Family. And I remember I was just sitting there, like, just watching it. And I wasn't... Like... Because I guess...
Some episodes aren't, but all together, all the people are...
I really didn't chuckle, even. Like, it wasn't funny to me, so that's why I don't like watching...
You have, like, your humor's messed up. Like, you don't have normal humor anymore, so nothing makes you... But no, that's a funny show. You gotta, like,
I mean, I think it's good. I'm sure it's good. Like, I'm sure it's good,
it's
but...
not overrated, no.
Yeah, I don't... Comedies work, so I could... Yeah, The Office...
You just don't like comedies.
Yeah, but The Office... I think... One thing I get annoyed about on the internet is they're always like, if you haven't watched The Office, you don't understand. It's like, I've never seen The Office, and I get this joke. Like,
like, that's what you said. Like, everyone on the planet knows it.
Yeah, and I feel like Office stans are, like, very passionate about The Office.
Yeah, they'll get...
You say one thing wrong...
They're right here, they probably just stopped listening, like, oh my god, they haven't even seen it, and they're talking about...
Like, these people on Twitter, they, like, tweet about it, and if they go, if you don't like The Office, unfollow me, and it's just
same
like...
with Friends, though. It's the same, like, group. It's like, calm down.
Like, I'm a TV fan. Like, I'm a fan of my shows, but if you don't like it, I'm not like, oh my god, you are a disgrace to the human race. Like, no, it's just like, whatever, but... Yeah, I totally forgot about The Office.
You got others that are overrated? Or did you say
Friends. That's the only one I really care about.
Okay, what about underrated shows?
Degrassi. Every version of Degrassi.
I don't know. Netflix wasn't that great.
But hear me out. The reason why I think it's underrated is because they hit hot button topics in a way for kids of that age group watching it to make it okay. That's why I think it's underrated.
Normal rated.
I think it's underrated. Even I really want to start watching the season before the one that Netflix took up, because I think you'd like it, because they focus on a lot of other stuff too, and I genuinely think that it's underrated in the sense of more kids should watch it, more preteens and teens should watch it, because we watched, like, when I watched it, I was in high school.
So I didn't really watch it.
Well, I watched it when it was on Amazon Prime. When I watched the part of it in high school, there's some stuff I was like, oh wow, like, because like they talk about LGBTQ plus community, racism, like the one that on Netflix was talking about an active shooter, like big things that happen, and they kind of. What I like too about it is the show also talks about, for instance, like the active shooter, how one person handles it and how a different person could handle it, and it I feel like kids would watch it, relate, and feel like it's okay to act a certain way in the sense of crisis and everything. That's why I think it's underrated, that it should be bigger, just for the fact that it helps you. If like a parent doesn't know what to do, well, watch the show and it's going to kind of help you out a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's underrated.
Is that the only way you get?
It's really the only underrated show that I can think of right now.
I said Gotham because, of course, I'm a Gotham stan, but it's like, if you don't like Batman, I've been having a hard time talking today. You don't like Batman, like, it doesn't matter, because Gotham's not about Batman. It's about a police. It's about Gotham police.
Do you have to know Batman to watch it?
No. I feel like it explains itself very well. You meet the characters, and they all develop over the small amount of seasons they get, and you grow to love, like, all of them, even the villains, because it's mainly about the villains and the police.
Is it very superhero-y?
Sometimes there's supernatural stuff going on, and you're like, what? But other than... Not really. It's a lot of, there's some mob boss stuff going on, and there's, like, corruption in the police force going on, because you're in Gotham, so everyone's good. But there's some cool plot twists that you're like, wow, I did not see that coming. It's just underrated to me, because it got canceled even though it had a pretty big fan base, so I just don't get that.
Didn't the creators, they wanted one of the characters to hook up with another character, and they actually listened to the fans about it?
There's one writer on Twitter who, in the final episodes, there's the Joker and the Riddler, they're basically giving the vibe that they were into each other in a sexual way, and obviously people were mad about that because you can't change my character, this character's not gay, this character's not gay, but they were kind of talking about their relationship as you're my brother or whatever, and so everyone was adding the writer and was like, why would you make them say brother? And he's like, this isn't what I had written, I wasn't there that day, I'm sorry that's what happened, but that's not what it is, because the writer himself ships it, so we're all like, okay, we know it's for real. But that's really different to be in a superhero show, is kind of have a gay character.
What's neat about going back on that, what I like is, because of course I took in college, which focused on transmedia franchise type of thing, whatever, and we touched about how sometimes franchises like that, if their following is so huge and has such an impact, they'll change the course of what they have envisioned and planned.
Yeah.
It's fans are so important to these shows, and when a TV show listens to it, one of my TV shows I watched, they're like, we want these two characters together. Finally, at the last season, they were finally together, and it's just they only did that because in a prior season, they loved the reaction that fans got from the two characters. So, it's so cool to see how a fan base can change the outcome of a TV show, a movie, a book,
It could have been better, though. It's because everyone is queerbait, kind of was, because there was also the large fan group who was you can't do this. It's not canon, they would never do this. It's and then I also mentioned, I think I talked to you one time, the show 10 Things I Hate About You. It only had one season. I told you I watched it all at my brother's house the other week, basically, because it only had one season, but it was a really cute show that I feel could have, if there was more seasons, more things could have been touched on. One sister was a feminist, and the other sister was wanting to be the cheerleader and popular, and it's kind of how they butt heads, but they're still there for each other when the one sister's date goes bad, and the other sister's oh my god, why do you care about boys so much? But then there's also a bad boy that she's into, and it's ooh, okay. So I feel that show is just underrated only because it got one season, and I feel it should have got more.
Okay. Well, how old was that? Was it
kind of early 2010s.
Okay.
How do you say that? Because you can say early 2000s, but like early 10s.
Are we gonna start say like the 2010s? Like, you know, we say 1920, 1930. We're gonna start doing like the 2030s.
Okay, it's kind of going up that like shows we wish would come back.
Okay, shows that we wish to bring back.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Finding Carter. It was on MTV. It had like 2 seasons, I want to say, but they left on a cliffhanger.
Oh, they didn't know they were getting canceled.
They didn't. No. Well, they it was announced that night. They left on a cliffhanger. This girl's best friend who was dating her friend, who was dating her twin. It's an MTV show, so what do you expect? Long story short, he like really injured her biological father, stepfather type of thing. Long story short, it left on a cliffhanger. This guy was going to jail. You're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? That night, I remember going on Twitter, and they're like, thank you so much for everybody that watched our show. We didn't get picked up. And I'm like, you couldn't have left you on a better note. Like,
sometimes they'll come back and be like, this is what would have happened. Because they did do that for 10 Things I Hate About You. The writer was like, this is how I see if I got more episodes, this is what would have happened.
I wish.
But they should.
No, they just tweeted and they're like, thanks, we didn't get picked up. But like, I don't understand why, because I feel like MTV shows last longer than that.
I don't know.
So that was one I wish I can come back. I have another one that I don't think you remembered, and I'm so excited to talk about it. Fact or Fake.
Oh my god! Yes!
That show was so good.
I feel like they ran out of myths, but there's new ones
That's
now.
What I'm saying.
I don't know.
I loved Fact or Fake, and I remember I was talking to you when we were younger. I was like, I watched the show Fact or Fake. You're like, oh my god, me and my mom watch it too.
Yeah, we watch it all the time.
Like, for me, if a TV show, I watch it when it airs that night.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's like proves how much I really like that show. And that was one that I actually specifically would wait until it.
Yeah. Sci-fi.
Yeah, it was on Sci-Fi.
Please.
But Fact or Fake, I really loved. I liked when they did, like, I remember they did a mermaid one. And I like, because usually like the go-tos are Alien and Ghost.
Yeah,
I feel
like the spooky ones, yeah.
But I liked when they did mythical creatures.
Like Chupacabra.
The Chupacabra they did. They did a mermaid, Bigfoot.
I think they did Bigfoot a few times.
Bigfoot a few times, yes. I'm trying to think of what else they did. I want to say there was like a gremlin, like a little gremlin thingy.
Oh, there was a really creepy one. I think it was an alien, but oh my god!
I hate watching
the intro. The really creepy one, the really long legs. It's like
yeah. I never liked when they would like go through the footage and they're like, oh, this is definitely digitally made, but like it was creepy, and you're like, I didn't really want to watch that.
Oh yeah, I hated that.
Yeah,
and then and the intro as well with the alien face that like turns out. Oh, I hated those.
I remember one of the episodes they did. It was an alien, and the guy like found it. I won't talk too much.
Oh yeah,
UFO.
They found the body.
Yeah, and they're like, and they told him after they did it.
I can't drive home after this. We need to stop.
I remember they told the guy, they're like, this is faked. We were able to prove it, and the guy was like, no, it's not, but like they're like, dude, just give it up, we know it's fake, and like clearly it was fake and everything. That's funny because
they would never come down here, and they're not going to come down here, and everything is fine.
Yes, aliens, please don't attack us.
They're not going to come.
We're your friends.
We're already destroying ourselves.
That's funny because when it came to the alien ones, you freaked out. When it comes to the ghost ones, I freak out. It freaks me out so much. The alien ones that I liked are like the UFO sightings.
That was fine.
Those were cool.
There was they literally got an aircraft flying into Area 51. Like, how could you explain that? All the lights go off, a thing flies in, all the lights come back on.
Yeah. I remember one. Do you remember the one where there's like this, I don't remember what state it's in, but there's this bright light that shines in the distance. And I think Devin, they like sent Devin out there to get it. Devin was when I got there. They had like a team of stuff. They sent like Devin out there to get it, and like he was driving as far as he could on like an ATV, and he's like, get closer, I can't find it. I can't get closer to it. And like people would like come at night to sit there and watch it.
Needs to put this on. Like Hulu needs to get this.
I know
Netflix won't get it, but like
I wonder if you could buy it.
Probably, but I'm not.
Yeah, but I remember that one was like so cool to see, and like I always wondered though, like. Did like the community say like, hey, don't expose it, here's so much money, because like we want it to be a tourist attraction, but I remember they're like, we can't get over there.
That's good. I can't there was a lot of shows I couldn't remember.
I know that one. I'm trying to think of other stuff that happened on Fact or Fake that was like,
I know a lot, like the train the train track.
Oh,
it
was
wouldn't
cool.
let you they would push you because the kids died at the thing.
Yeah, and then it ended up being just like an optical illusion.
Those were always weird. It was like it looks straight, but it's actually
I've been to a place like that in South Dakota. It was called the Cosmo.
I think that's where they went at one point because they were just like playing around with it for fun.
I have a picture of me looking taller than my dad, I think it was at the time.
That's just weird. I don't like
My favorite one that Fact or Fake did which was interesting, was the mermaid one. Mm-hmm. It was in like the ocean, and they saw like a mermaid tail, and they said what they believe it was. Oh my god, I forgot my dog is in the room. I get scared. Oh my god. He just picked his head up and yawned, and I was like, what is that? I saw it out of my perfume. I'm getting creeped out. You got spooked.
We gotta stop talking.
I know, but this was lighthearted. It was a mermaid, and they're like, it's a mermaid, and what they believed to happen was a woman who was training to be a professional mermaid for like whether it was like not SeaWorld, we don't support that, or something like that. And the guy who was scuba diving actually accidentally caught a person training to be a mermaid as a profession, because when they talked to the guy, like you could clearly tell he was like, I just thought it was cool and I uploaded it. I didn't want this reaction. So like it's cool how even like something like that where it's believed that that's happened, but like you still don't know. I just love that.
Yeah, we don't know. The ocean is
we explored more of other stuff.
I know.
We need to expand our budget on ocean exploration.
I would love to know what's down there, because then we don't have to be afraid of what's down there. We don't even know what's in outer space.
I think
too much.
They did a giant squid one once on the thing.
Think they did, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would love for that show to come back.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one show to come back, forget Finding Carter. Give me Fact or Fake.
I agree.
Give me some debunking. It's so cool.
Yeah. I think I said Gotham. They didn't get enough seasons. Degrassi, which we talked about. Bring it back, because I don't know if Netflix is bringing it back or not. I think they were, but then I don't know. Bring it back, and then Face Off. I think
Face Off.
You can't ever run out of challenges.
I figured
you never could.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna write down Face Off, so I didn't write that down. My favorite Face Off competition that I liked, because for someone, I do a bunch of special effects makeup. So for someone who does special effects makeup, I feel like I don't watch enough movies and TV shows that deal with that.
Yeah.
But what I loved a lot was they did the Hunger Games one, and that was actually like something I watched and was able to understand, and it was a really cool challenge. That one, and I love when they did like, I think they did like Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland.
All the ones the contestants hated. They're like, oh, whimsical. I don't know how to do whimsical. I can only do monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I'm like, I like these ones.
I had to, because they're not scary.
Mm-hmm. But that was cool. They did some neat things on that.
Okay. Were there any shows that you either stopped watching because it got so bad, or you powered through because you're like, I watched too much of this, I have to finish?
So I have 4 of them.
Oh, wow.
4. First one that I could think, 2 of them are from like not back in the day, but Pretty Little Liars. Mm-hmm. That show sucked at the end. Yeah. I hated it so much. So many people hooked up with one another, and then so many people were related to one another, but they were half siblings, and it got way too confusing at the end. It was drawn out for too long, but it got to the point where you're like, I need to know who A is. Like, that was the extent of it. Hated Pretty Little Liars. I loved it in the beginning, hated it at the end. Mm-hmm. I hated the last, 3 or 4 seasons, but I had to continue.
I couldn't do it.
Castle, I watched, but when I got to the end, I thought the season finale, that's one thing, the worst series finale. The worst series finale had to have been Castle. I didn't like how it ended. But rumor has it that the main 2 characters on the show in real life hated each other, so that's why it was kind of weird, even though you wouldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. But that was a show that it was. I'd never seen all the episodes, honestly, because it's been on for a while. It's kind of like I feel Bones. You could eventually start it and pick up what's going on. And so
I've seen every episode.
Yeah. Well, because I started Bones and I watched, and I was like, oh, I can kind of understand.
Yeah, you should pick up on that. Get in the later seasons. Yeah.
That's how Castle was, and then it got I watched it, and me and my mom were really invested, and then towards the end, we were just it kind of sucked. Glee. I binge watched.
I've read some weird things about Glee. I'm like, what?
I want to know. I binged watched Glee one summer in college. Not when it aired. It was on Amazon Prime. I was working at a job where in the summertime you had a lot of downtime. You can go on the computer, watch TV, whatever. And I remember binge watching it, and the first 2 or 3 seasons, it was oh my god, I have to see what's next. It was kind of cheesy. I guess this was the only quote unquote comedy show that kind of entertained me.
Yeah.
And by the time they all graduated and they try to continue on with their college life type of thing. I'm like, this is so stupid. And then the other one is one that me and Summer are currently watching.
Oh, I
and I'm
know.
only sticking it out because I've been watching it it's How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, no! That's not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say, The Secret Life of American Teenager. That one's killing me.
Really? It's not for me. I'm like really excited.
How to Get Away with Murder.
I know we watched it today. We haven't watched it in a while. I know. No, I'm generally liking it. We have a lot of seasons ago. How to Get Away with Murder, I like. I don't like when shows get too in depth. And it's just like How to Get Away with Murder, I feel like is putting a lot of unnecessary stuff added into it, and it's getting a little confusing. Last season really confused me. First 2 seasons were good.
I think it's confusing because we were watching like one episode a week, and it was a week time. It's easier when you're watching them all at once to remember what happened in the last episode because you just watched it. I think that's what happened. Because you watched the first 2. You watched the first 2.
I can't watch a show by myself though. The first 2 seasons, I couldn't watch by myself. I got so nervous.
Are the best. Like they're really good.
But I legit, when I would watch them, because you're like, watch it and we could talk about it. Yeah. I watched the first 2 seasons. I don't know why I got so scared all the time. It freaked me out. But
I forgot about that. I like it. I still like it. I'm going to rewatch the newer seasons because I don't know what happened either.
Yeah, you just tell me. Like, because Summer's always like, well, just watch them without me. I'm like, no, I want to know what happens to the characters. But, like,
can't really forget about that show. I told you I couldn't remember anything.
Yeah. That's what I figured when we start talking. But no, you don't like Secret Life of American Teenager?
We're almost to, like, the good plot thing that I'm waiting for with Ben to sleep with
Adrian.
I'm excited. Whatever. I'm excited to see that, but yeah, it's been like.
I think after it gets past the second season, yeah.
I finished watching Lost. I don't remember any of it. I watched it in a very short time period, and there was a lot of episodes, and I don't really remember what happened. There was like some like smoke monster, dude. I don't remember. It got weird because they left the island, but then they came back somehow, and I was like.
My uncle watched it. I remember
everyone watched it like live. That was like, whoa, this is the craziest show ever.
We would be at family gatherings.
Yeah.
And he would legit be like, I have to watch Lost. And he'd like.
I could see why, because at the first you're like, what's going on? But then it's like when they left the island and then came back, I was like, what?
I think a lot of people were like, what happened?
It was that show. And then I don't know if I'll ever finish it. I started watching Arrow. It's about, like, the Green Arrow. He's another DC comic book character. But, like, it was good the first season. I was like, ooh, this is good. He's kind of cute, whatever. I can't stick. Like, there's a lot of seasons, and I'm like, I started watching it again, and I'm like, you've run out of things to do, I guess. Gotham's a lot better. And then, what show? It was on the tip of my tongue. No, it's gone. Oh, Criminal Minds. Oh. It's gotten, like, they're finally on their final season or whatever. I didn't watch the last season. I'll probably watch it. But it's like, okay. I don't know. You run out of things.
I feel like crime shows eventually.
Exactly. Unless there's stuff going on with the characters that's interesting, like in Bones. It's like, okay, I'm kind of just watching for what's going to go on with these characters. Like, is their son going to be blind? I got to find out, whatever. Nothing really happens between the Criminal Minds. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll probably finish it, but, yeah. What about when you were a kid?
The only ones I really like.
You don't have to be kid. You could be like middle school, like younger.
Honestly, I feel like I didn't really watch TV.
No, I've always liked TV.
One I remember watching is just Wizards of Waverly Place. I remember watching that. Another one I remember being kind of invested in was Zoe 101. That was a big one where I was like, I need to know what happens. I need to know if Zoe's gonna end up with Chase. Is he gonna end up looking at the time capsule type of thing?
Yeah.
Like. That was one that I remember specifically wanting to know what happens.
I could have seen if I had cable at the time it was on, I feel like I would have watched it. But when I finally got cable, it was like reruns of that.
Yeah.
I got to watch Sweet Life when it was on like ABC in the morning.
Of Zack and Cody or on Deck?
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. But I also watched on Deck. Obviously, you have to watch both.
That is the first TV show that made me cry. It was their series finale, and they had like the montage of everything. And I remember I was sitting there watching it, and I was crying, and I was like, why am I crying? Like, that was the first time I realized like something can upset me.
That movie was really deep when he was finally like, I know you're my brother, but like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. It's like, oh my god, he's finally given up on Zach. Like, oh my god, that's
I don't remember
deep.
the movie.
The movie's really like, because they're like, it's like about twin like power or whatever, and it was like, because Zach was more interested in girls, obviously, and then Cody was like, I'm done. Like, we're done. And I was like, oh my god.
That's crazy.
No, I liked that show. I did get to watch like Victorious and iCarly. That's like, that was my Nickelodeon.
You like that other one with Keke Palmer?
Oh yeah, True Jackson VP. That was a good one.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. I liked the fashion shows.
I think you were more Nickelodeon. I was more Disney.
I was because the characters were cuter. I guess. I don't know. Big Time Rush. Yeah, that was also on Nickelodeon. Yeah. Big Time Rush, and then
as you guys know, we're Big Time Rush fans.
Yeah, if you listen to our first podcast. And then when I was a kid, like we mentioned, Cyber Chase. I like to watch.
That was a good one.
The What's New Scooby Doo. Not like Scooby Doo, like What's New Scooby Doo is what it's called. That was the best Scooby Doo. And that's got the best theme song. Not like that's the like they have a legit band singing their theme song. It's Simple Plan. I looked it up just the other day. I was talking about. I was like, who sings? I can't remember. It's freaking Simple Plan.
Do you know what show maybe you watch? Is that your last one?
Yeah, those are the ones.
Fetch with Rough Ruffman.
Oh yeah, I remember I would come home and be like, I want to watch because it's like those kids were like real kids. And then I remember they did the episode with Jesse McCartney or whoever, and it was Eric Carter. Yeah, and they were like in the limo. It's a something party. I can't remember.
Yeah,
they had to shoot the video. That was cool. That was a cool show.
Yeah, I always wanted to be on that show. Fetch with Rough Ruffman. I like that one.
That was a cool show.
I remember. What are some TV shows that like? If I like deep into your memory, like you watched, but like you cannot remember.
Okay, these. I don't think you're gonna know them at all.
I don't think you'll know mine
these
either.
Are like sitcoms because I only had basic TV channels, and I remember one. There was like a brother-in-law lived in like a guest house. There was a lot of kids, and I think it was called Yes Dear, and I don't remember anything about it, but I remember I thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got, and then I vaguely remember like According to Jim. Was another show. It was another basically. It was like a dad.
Like maybe
you
would have this show that I'm thinking of.
I also watched Will and Grace a lot when I was a kid, like a kid, and Frasier, like a kid watching Frasier for some reason.
There was one show. I don't know. It was about a man.
A man.
I think it would have been like 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
Or early 2000s. I don't remember really much about it, but I remember watching a few episodes, and I've always wanted to watch it. And, like, if you tell me right now, I'm going to try to find it and probably watch it. It was a mom who had, like, 2 kids.
Okay.
And there was a dad, like, a guy who, like, tried to be the father. It was a comedy. It was, like, a sitcom who tried to be, like, the father. And I remember there was an episode where he was, like, talking to the son and was giving advice. And she's like, don't talk to my son. And he's like, well, I'm giving her advice. And, like, he was, like, a cute guy, brown hair. Kind of dad bod, jeans. Oh, I wish it wasn't Home Improvement. I don't know why I thought about that.
I do remember Home Improvement
because that was Tim Allen, right?
Yeah.
It was and it wasn't with who's the guy who plays in The Mummy? What's that guy's name?
Oh, Brendan Fraser.
Was it? I think Brendan Fraser.
Should we try to look it up right now? Like, we'll just take a break. We'll go look for it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it. We're gonna record. Okay, I think it was Yeah, I don't think it's According to Jim.
It's not because they were married. So what's his? That's in.
But I don't think it was him.
Let's just look.
I don't think it was. Oh my god, I don't know who it was. Oh my god,
Let me just look up that actor real quick.
Okay. It's not the Wonder Years. Mary Tyler Moore, the Munsters, Happy Days, the Brady Bunch, no, Laverne and Shirley, the Beverly Hillbillies. I've always wanted to watch Three's Companies, but I was never allowed to.
Why?
I don't know.
Wait, why would you want to watch it?
It looks good. Wait, who is this guy? Wait. John Ritter? Why does that name sound... Wait. I wish I knew who it was. I remember it was a mom who had, like, the blonde, like, kind of like mom hairstyle. And then it was a guy... Wait, I think this is him. John Ritter? Maybe it was... Wait. I don't think it was Three's Companies, though. And he had... The mom had, like, 2 kids...
Everybody Loves Raymond?
No.
I know.
I've only seen a few episodes.
The Facts of Life? These don't have any pictures for me.
It was the guy. He looked like Brendan Fraser. That's the only thing I could think of.
That didn't help.
Oh my god, I'm so annoyed. I can't figure it out. And I remember, like, the style that, like, what they would wear would be, like, the dad was in, like, jeans, and he had, like, a jean shirt, and the mom, like, maybe it was 90s or 80s? I don't know.
We're gonna have to stop because you get into a huge thing, and then we're an hour later, it's already 12:40.
I'm gonna try to figure it out, because it looked like a good show. And I think it was Was their plumber? I don't remember, but I remember that he was just like living as a guest, and they weren't dating or anything. He was like a roommate, but like took a liking to the kids and like became a father figure.
Well, it sounded a lot like Melissa and Joey, but it's not Melissa and Joey.
No.
But
all right, I gotta stop.
Okay, we'll come back and we'll just be like, we couldn't find it, but we found some.
I've been recording this whole time, so
why?
Okay. Because it's fun.
Okay,
why not?
Okay.
But on the side of shows that we need to figure out, there was one night Summer and I were hanging out, and there was this show. This is how I remember it. It was, they all lived in a house, and it was probably like 2010 and onward. They all lived in this house, and there was like a voice on an intercom that would say like, one of you need to do this. If you don't, you'll have to do a chore. And they would like had to carry like rocks up a huge hill.
It would be, or you lose some money.
Lose money, yes. And what it was everybody had a reason why they were on the show, and you had to guess like whose reason was what, and who was telling the truth and who was lying. Mm-hmm. And it was
they all had to decide the one person who gets the money.
Yes.
And they're like, give the reason. It's like, are they lying about the reason, or are they telling the truth? And it's like, should I give them the money, or are they lying?
Like, one of the girls was like, oh, I want to start my music career, and she was telling the truth, and she was like this weird indie rock kind of
girl. Yeah.
And then there was a Chinese woman who lied, a Chinese girl who was like, not girl, but like a woman, I guess, a Chinese lady who was like, yeah, I'm lying because I don't feel like doing this. And then there was like another white chick who was like a bimbo and was like, oh, I don't really like, I wish. And every time we try to Google, like once every 3 months, we try to go on this huge 30-minute tangent of trying to find this thing. And the only thing that pops up is moment of truth and to tell the truth.
They're not.
And there was one that kind of like, I was looking up one night because I was like, I'm going to find it. It was called The Lie. And I thought that was it. But I don't know what it was, and we never finished it, and we'll never know what it is. If you know what it is, please comment and let us know.
It could have been on MTV, or it could have been on like
VH1.
VH1. It was one of those. It wasn't anything else.
And it was,
I don't think.
And so just to recap, it is straight. It was reality, kind of like an MTV show. They're living in a house. They have to tell why they want the money. They could lie about it. But you know the truth, but the people in the house don't. The viewers know the truth. And then a person will come on an intercom and say, if you don't do this, we're taking some of your money away. Or if you do this, we'll give you some more money type of thing. And I remember one of the challenges was one of the things they had to do was go down and carry like heavy rocks or boulders up a huge deserted hill. And I feel like there was a briefcase involved, but we got into a huge argument about briefcases.
Yeah, I don't remember. But I do remember there being like a cute little like bar. Like there'd be like a living room, and then there was like a
tiki bar,
brown tiki bar, like made out of wood. I remember that.
It was on late at night when we watched it.
I know.
It wasn't live. We watched it re-aired.
I thought we were watching it live, like weekly. That's what I remember. It was a weekly show we watched.
No, it was like 3 episodes we binged. So that was one show. I'm gonna find out that one, and I'm gonna figure it out.
I don't know what show you're talking about.
I don't know either.
It would have been funny if it was according to Jim. Yeah, this is a funny show.
I don't think it, but I feel like it was that guy who had that huge thick beard.
There's a lot of guys that look like that.
I don't know who that guy is.
I looked him up. It wasn't him.
I don't know, man. What are some TV shows we watched together though? Catfish.
Catfish. We watched. Yeah, I forgot about Catfish.
The Challenge.
How
to Get Away with Murder.
Because you won't watch my other shows. We kind of gotta.
And you won't watch my shows.
Yeah, I gotta agree on some crappy reality.
We're currently binge watching
Secret Life of American Teenager.
There's another one, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else we're watching.
You watched some Project Runway with me. I kind of just like left because I was like, this has been my own show. I'm not gonna wait for you for my own show. Like that's kind of rude. Top Model we'll watch we've watched every season.
Yeah, are they coming back with a new season?
I don't know.
Would you go on Top Model if you could?
No, I don't think I could do it.
No.
No.
Well, you had to get your hair changed.
That's part of why I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, they'd be like, you're gonna go brown. I'm gonna be like,
why?
Nope.
Why would you do that?
Exactly. That's about it for TV shows we've watched together. We're watching, I said Secret Life of American Teenager. We'll get that done eventually. I want to know, which I kind of asked you this earlier, but what TV show, if you had to be on, which one would you choose?
I don't know.
I'm only asking this because I want to share my answer.
Why don't you just answer this?
I would love to be on Animal Kingdom, and I would love to be Jay's girlfriend. I already have my character all planned out, how it will be, how I will act, how his plot will go, and everything, and his character development. And I think it would be awesome to be his girlfriend.
I can't think of a show because no one's like missing a character. Like,
well, Jay's not missing a character. He's got this shady girlfriend now, and I'm not a fan of her. And I would play. This is how it happened. Now he's in college. I would play a college, which it might lead to this. I don't know, because in the first episode we introduced him to some college friends. But I would be like, you don't care, but I'm gonna share. I'd be this college character who is like, hey Jay, you're good at finance. I wonder why. You do heists and you launder your money for the family. But I would be like, hey, you're good with finance. Can you help me out? We do a group project. We go back to his house. We figure it out. Long story short, I'm his new girlfriend and I put him on a good path and we just live life together. That's how I'd want it to. I would take him out of this tragic family he's in and be like, his reason to be like, hey, listen, like, you don't need this family. Like, I get why you're with them, but like, you're more than this. Why don't you own a real business and don't go in trouble with the law?
But you like him in trouble with the law.
But I would love to be his girlfriend that would take him out of the law. I'd be his good girl and
I don't know why,
the family.
But that just reminded me of a show that I like kind of finished watching, but it was kind of bad because I stopped The Fosters.
Oh yeah,
because
I saw a preview. I gave up the show way before you.
I like skipped a season, I think, and we like tried to fast forward through one. We're like, let's just try and watch like some of the episodes because the new season come back. And then I was like, so I watched it and I've seen the series finale. I don't know if it was a good series finale because like I said, I don't know what's going on, but it was good at first. I remember watching that in your room. Baby Daddy, we binge watched the first season of Baby Daddy.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I did because they were both brothers were cute.
They were hot, yeah, but like
both brothers were cute.
I didn't answer your question to TV shows as a kid. Other ones I remember. Out of the Box. I remember watching it as a kid. I was like, out of the box.
The Zaboomafoo.
Zaboomafoo.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was cool. I'd be
Max
in that
and Ruby.
show. I would love to play with some animals.
With the Krat brothers.
Yeah, why not?
You'd be the Krat sister.
I want to live in the treehouse.
Yeah, that was another one. Max and Ruby, did you ever watch?
That was Dragon Tales.
Dragon Tales. Oh
Wasn't
my god.
her brother named Max? I think that's why that triggered that.
Maybe.
Yeah, Dragon Tales.
I wish her name.
Wish upon the stars.
To fly with dragons in the land of fire. Yeah. Didn't they add like a new one? And I was like,
who like kind of taught you Spanish, but you're like, what?
Was it? I don't remember that.
Yes, because they were a Mexican family.
Were they?
They were, yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, I was always a Barney fan. I mean, I feel like every kid.
I remember. Barney was good. I liked Barney.
It was who were the characters?
Sesame Street.
I've never watched Sesame Street.
It's good. They touch Hot Button.
Hot Button
Hot Button Topic.
Yeah.
What is a foster care kid now, apparently.
Oh, really?
Arthur. Shout out Arthur. Didn't know you were still on, but good job.
Good job with your gay rat wedding, is what people are saying. That's good.
That's crazy. He's still a teacher after all this time. How's he surviving?
Yeah. So I listened. I mean, a lot of people online were like cracking some jokes about it, but like when you watch the show at that time, you don't understand. But when you look back at it, you're like, I can see he can be a little.
It. He reminds me like of Tim Gunn.
He reminds me of our teacher who happened to be gay as well.
Oh, yeah, you can see it. You're like, you don't need to be obvious about it. Yeah.
But I think that's really great that they're doing it. A lot of people are arguing, and like I know Alabama.
Yeah,
was it Alabama?
Someone banned it. They're like, you can't play this episode.
Yeah,
Arthur, like you're that big of a baby.
Exactly. I think here's an interesting question I have for you. Do you think it's important that shows do have gay characters, or like underrepresented characters, or do you think it should only be like important if it fits the plot type of thing?
No, because everyone's like that, so if it doesn't fit the plot, like that doesn't matter because it's about their like life.
Or do you think the TV show should specifically focus on it, or should it just be like almost like in Power Rangers, the new movie, where they're like, oh, your boyfriend? And she's like, no. And they're like, girlfriend? They're like, oh, okay. And then just like kind of like,
I think that's how it should be. It shouldn't be a big deal because it should be normal.
Or do you think
like I have a boyfriend, I have a girlfriend, and be like, okay. Like I don't think it should be a big deal because it's like in real life. Do you want it to be a big deal, or do you want it to be like normal?
But do you think a bigger deal is what needs to be done because they're still underrepresented? Underrepresented.
No, because if you make a big deal out of it, they're going to be like, oh, I guess we have to make a big deal out of it. And what if they don't want a big deal out of it? We wouldn't know. So, I don't know.
That's very
true. You just be taking like a normal character that's just like, oh, I'm also gay. And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Speaking of other shows that I watched, I forgot about minorities and everything. I do watch All American now. And that kind of focuses on about racism and everything.
Isn't that a comedy show?
No.
A sitcom? Oh. Well, I'm thinking of like Fresh Off the Boat or something.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking about. No, All American deals with racism a little bit, and well, not a lot of it, but in just kind of like the different lives because they're in Beverly Hills, and then I forgot where the other Crenshaw is the other part that they're in, and so they kind of focus on, you know, upper class, lower class type of thing, and I think it's important and it's interesting to watch. There's a new show coming out that I want to watch. I can't remember what it is called. So the show deals with a politician who's a male and then a person of color who's a surgeon and male. And the surgeon goes into like a convenience store, the clerk gets shot, and the surgeon's like, let me help you. And then there was a cop, white cop, who's like, no, let me, like, show me your hands. And he's like, no, I'm a surgeon. He's like, let me help this man. And he's like, no. Cop kills him. And then their daughter, the senator's like, it should have been me. And the senator's white. And the daughter's like, if it was you, this wouldn't have happened. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be good. And I was like, I wanted to know what happened.
That kind of reminds me, I forgot, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's a really good show. It's funny, and it also touches hot button topics because one of the main characters, she's bisexual, and she had to come out to her parents, and then, like, one of the sergeants is black, and he didn't have his badge on him at one point, and he was, like, looking for his daughter's stuffed animal or whatever, and another cop was like, what are you doing in this neighborhood? Because it's a nice neighborhood. And he's like, I'm just looking for my daughter's stuffed animal, and, like, he almost gets arrested because he's African-American, even though, like, he's literally, like, a sergeant. So, like, that's another good one that's funny, but also is, like, talks about serious things.
Yeah. Didn't they get dropped and then picked back up or something?
Yeah, they got canceled, and then NBC took them back.
Oh, wow.
And now they're, like, allowed to swear, because they were on Fox, and they couldn't swear. And, like, the first episode, they're like, customers. So funny. But I didn't know I, like, caught up, and then all of a sudden I, like, realized I caught up completely, and I was like, oh, I have no new episodes to watch.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
want to know another show that you probably forgot about? Designated Survivor.
Ugh,
I stopped that before you.
I finished it, but I don't know what happened at all.
I just remember the show I watched, and it only had one season. There's a lot of shows I've watched that had only like one or two seasons.
They really do.
Hostages.
Oh, I don't know.
It was about this girl who was a surgeon.
ABC.
I think it was. She was a surgeon, and the president at the time was like, oh, I want you to do surgery on me. I'm going to pick you as my surgeon. She's like, okay, cool. And then the family they're held hostage in their house, and the guy's like, I want you to kill the president. And she's like, no, what are you talking about? And he's like, you have to, or I'm going to kill your family. So she had, like, this, like, ethic battle and stuff. But the one thing that made me laugh was, like, eventually, like, the person holding her hostage and her, like, hooked up. What? And she was like, I'll kill the president for you. And, like, then she was, like, going to, and then, like, stuff happened. It was, like, it was a really cool, I think my grandma, like, recommended it to me, and we watched it and talked about it. But, that was a good one, too, Hostages. I totally forgot about that one.
Yeah, I forgot about the Scrubs. It doesn't talk about anything serious, but I liked it. It came back for, like, another season. It was, like, weird, because, like, James Franco's brother was in it, and it was, like, what's the English show?
Yeah. You know another show I think's overrated? Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yeah, how's it still on? Like, I don't know.
It is.
I think so.
Ew.
I don't know, but yeah. I guess it was, I would say it was overrated, but I think people are finally over it.
What about some shows that you weren't allowed to watch? I talked about, like, Three's Company. I wasn't allowed to watch Three's Company for some reason.
I remember once I was watching Friends and my mom was just like, why are you watching this show? It's an adult show. I was like, I don't know. And that was kind of it.
Was it? I thought Cheers.
South Park. I was allowed, but then there's like, this newer season was bad. I was like, you can't watch this newer season. I was like, okay.
I thought Cheers was one you couldn't watch.
No.
Or you watched?
There was no.
I couldn't watch ER, really.
I was allowed to watch whatever.
Nip Tuck. My mom loved Nip Tuck, and when Nip Tuck came on, she's like, you gotta go to your room. And I was like, okay. I didn't know what it was about. And I didn't know Nip Tuck
I wasn't allowed to watch the Duran Duran music video for Girls on Film. That's like one specific thing that's like, you can't watch this. And I was like...
I was never allowed to... That's funny, because, like you said South Park. I was never allowed to watch South Park, Family Guy, The Simpsons. I couldn't watch...
Simpsons wasn't even bad, like, at all.
I really wasn't allowed to watch it.
It's not bad at all. That's when I don't know how it's still going on, but okay. Like, because the characters don't age, is what's really weird to me. They're on for, like, 20 seasons, and the characters haven't aged.
I couldn't watch Ren and Stimpy, which was a Nickelodeon cartoon. I couldn't watch Ren and Stimpy. I think that's what it's called.
How did they know you weren't watching them?
Well, I think I was like a good enough kid where I was like, I'm not going to watch it.
My friend, like, they'd catch me watching Frasier, and they'd just be like, what you watching Frasier for? And I'm like, it's the only thing on. Like, no, we only have basic TV channels. I'm watching Frasier. Like, back off. I can't even remember what it was about, but I watched it a lot.
You know what I can't remember what it's about? That one TV show I just mentioned about some guy wearing jeans. I remember he was like a cute dude, and I feel... This is going to bug me. When you go home tonight, I'm just going to try Googling it.
Whatever.
I remember. It was like... I think the one scene I remember the most was this woman, the girl, the mom, with the blonde hair, and, like, he was, like, holding up... I think it was, like... The scene I remember was, like, a birthday party. And it was like, no, and then, like, he got kicked out. He was, like, a roommate.
Maybe it's a dream you had and you make it
It was not. So I remember I was, like, watching it, and I think my mom was like, why you... Like, don't watch this.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, my God. We have to finish watching that.
Yeah, we just watch that instead.
Okay, yeah. I love Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I remember I watched it when it didn't air, which is kind of like when I would come home from school, it would have the repeat episodes, but they kept them in order. Yeah, that was a good... It kind of got a little funky at the end, but like...
I can't remember. I watched like... I didn't watch all the things in order. So
I'm so excited to watch the Netflix version of it.
I'm not. I don't like spooky.
Well, it's got Ross Lynch in it, so I'm here for that. I used to watch Austin Alley. That was another one.
Ugh, that was like my awful. I remember watching the premiere episode. I was like, "Ooh, Emily, you're gonna like this show."
Stop. That was like the last Disney show that I like watched. I didn't finish it though.
That's the last one I watched all the way through. Was Good Luck
Really?
Charlie. And that's a really good one.
I feel like Disney's gonna eventually make one about Charlie reviewing the tapes.
I hope so, because
I think that's stupid of them.
That would be really cute.
Because an adult, it's like with That's So Raven's home, and then
you just have to wait long enough for Charlie to grow up.
Boy Meets World, and it's Girl Meets World. Like they're definitely.
Charlie's just, she's like 11
I just hope
now
it's not
or something.
Stupid.
It's gonna be stupid because we're probably gonna be 30.
But
40.
I mean, my mom at the time was watching some kid shows and like, oh, it's actually really good. Now I'm watching stuff and I'm like, and me, mom's like, this sucks. So that's it. That's it. That's our TV shows.
Yeah.
I need to go because I need to try to figure out what that one show was.
Okay, I need to go home.
Yeah, currently for us it's 1 a.m, so that's it. Alright, thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for listening. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the BFC_podcast to stay up to date with the latest content.
And you can continue listening to us right here on YouTube.